Don't clap yet. It's a little early here. Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to the capstone event of this weekend's activities celebrating the successful conclusion of Wooster's Promise, a campaign for our future. This 5-year initiative began on July 1, 2013, went public on April 28, 2017, and concluded just this past summer on June 30th. As you will hear tonight, the campaign has met and has far exceeded its philanthropic and engagement goals. We were successful because of the role each and every one of you played as a donor, supporter, campus partner, or advocate for the campaign. It is so fitting that we are all gathered here this evening in person and via live stream to celebrate this incredible achievement. You will hear much more about the success of the campaign and its impact over the course of this evening, and the thousands of Wooster alumni, parents, and friends who made it possible. But now I'd like to turn my attention to thanking and introducing one particular individual without whom this campaign would not have been the success that it was. Each team needs that one individual whose passion, dedication, and enthusiasm for the cause provides that much-needed boost at critical moments to help get over the finish line. 5 years is actually a long time in the life of a college. Within that time, students apply, enroll, and graduate. Beloved faculty and staff retire. Monumental supporters pass on and leave us. Leaders come and go, and buildings are raised and rebuilt. Throughout his tenure as chair of the campaign leadership team, Blake Moore, a member of the class of 1980, has been the steady rock on which the momentum for Wooster's Promise was built. He was the first to stand up and rally the Board of Trustees, and he gave literally the very last dollar for the campaign on June 30th. His leadership of an extremely dedicated campaign leadership team, all of whom Don Frederico will recognize later this evening, was in many ways the key to our success. One of the exciting moments of the public phase of the campaign was the announcement of the McAfee Scholarship Challenge. Bill McAfee, class of 1932, passed away in the fall of 2016 at the age of 106. He left most of his estate to the college for endowed scholarships and faculty development support. His one caveat was that his gift, nearly $2.8 million, could not be used to create new endowed funds in his name, but rather could be used to supplement endowed funds started by others, a true act of philanthropy. Ultimately, his gift led to the establishment and the challenge in Bill's name that resulted in an additional $2 million being raised for student scholarships in just 3 months. In addition to receiving Mr. McAfee's generous gifts, we were the recipients of his Wooster keepsakes, which he accumulated and treasured for a long time as a volunteer for the college. I am pleased tonight to present one special item from Bill McAfee's Wooster legacy to Blake Moore. Blake, would you please join me on stage? Blake, enclosed in this case is a Wooster pennant that belonged to Bill McAfee, along with his description that reads, "To E. Blake Moore, Jr., class of 1980, with sincere thanks for his outstanding leadership as chair of the campaign leadership team." Sorry. You thought you were going to have a hard time.
Yeah, I'm having
During Wooster's Promise, a campaign for our future, July 1, 2013 through June 30th, 2018. Thank you, Blake.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. For Wayne, the finisher. Please, good evening. Good evening. It's great to be here. That has a lot of meaning to me, given, as you'll hear, my family's legacy at this college. So I don't know why I'm taking my glasses off. I'm going to need them. So I was very relaxed until I learned 2 minutes ago that we're live streaming. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'd like to add my welcome to our Wooster's Promise campaign celebration, of course. Before I get started into my remarks, let me first say a big thank you to all involved with this campaign, the advancement team, campaign leadership team, our trustees, faculty, staff, alumni, friends of the college, I could spend 10 minutes just up here saying thank yous because it really was a team effort. Tonight, though, I want to spend some time talking about the how of this campaign. How did we do it? What made it happen? And then we'll watch a video together that is even more important. It's about the why of this campaign, why we did it, why it is so important, why what all of you contributed to matters. It's been my privilege and honor to serve as campaign chair for the college for this 5-year campaign. And when I say privilege and honor, I mean that. I love this college for many reasons, starting with my wife, Cynthia Weiler, who's here with us tonight, who I met at Wooster 42 years ago. And for us, Wooster really is a family affair. I'm 4th generation Wooster. My great-grandfather played for the Fighting Scott football team in '89. For you youngsters, that's 1889. They were undefeated that year, walloping Denison twice to go 2-0. Go Scots. There it is, the first one. My brother Bob attended, as did Cindy and all 4 of her siblings. And more recently, several of the next generation have or are attending. We have a niece here currently. All told, that's about a half-century of Wooster years. Sarah, in today's tuition dollars, that's about $3 million. Cindy and I would like a discount coupon for the bookstore, please. And of course, there's so many other reasons I'm thankful for my years at Wooster. The wonderful education, the friends and faculty and coaches who have impacted me for life. The place where I learned to think, not just learn. Where I grew from a boy to a young man. So that when I left, I believed I could do anything I set my mind to. Such is the value of Wooster's promise, and it is priceless. So let's talk about the how of this campaign. When I was asked to chair the campaign in 2013, I was a campaign rookie. Never done anything like it before. I spoke to former successful Wooster campaign chairs like Jim Wilson, Jim Clark, Stan Galt. I had very insightful and probing questions for them like, what do I do? Where does the first dollar come from? Somehow they convinced me to take on the challenge. Let me tell you, when Stan Galt asked you to do something for the College of Wooster, there was generally only one answer. Their advice in broad terms, have faith in the Wooster Scott community and get started. And so we began. The campaign leadership team was formed. The trustees all stood as one in 2013 and committed to the campaign. Our first dollar came in, then another. The trustees stepped up. Alumni committed and gave. Parents, friends of the college, surprise donors, all stepped up and in. Some would say the campaign can be told with facts, figures, and stats. We set a goal of $165 million publicly, blew through that shortly, and set another higher goal and surpassed that. We had 39 campaign gifts of $1 million or more. We went through 3 presidents and 3 development directors in a 5-year campaign. All that does is reinforce how difficult I am to work with. We had an alumni participation rate of 42% in a very short 5-year campaign. That is amazing. It is. We had a total of 120 new endowed funds for faculty, student aid, and other Wooster support. 120. And all in all, we had over 16,000 donors to this campaign, over 10,000 of whom were alumni. Just amazing numbers. And I could go on and on with facts and figures. But if there's one thing I've learned while chairing this campaign, it is that our success was not driven by facts and figures. Not by stats, not by numbers, no. This campaign was driven by emotion. From the heart. From the love of this college and what it has meant to so many people, every single gift was in truth driven by a story. I told you one of the reasons I love this college. The only reason Cynthia was able to attend Wooster, and importantly bump into me, was because of financial aid, the generosity of others. Our own campaign gift to Wooster is to pay that forward, establishing a student financial aid fund so others can have that same opportunity. That's our story. At one of our donor celebration events where we were recognizing Ruth Williams and her husband Morris for their generosity in naming our new life sciences facility, Morris, who did not even attend Wooster, went off script and decided to make an additional multi-million-dollar gift in Ruth's honor because he knew how much Wooster meant to her. Her love of Wooster, that's what inspired him. That's Morris and Ruth's story. And then there was Nan Johnson. She was here at Wooster about the same time Cindy and I were here, class of '81, who decided to donate her retirement account, the whole thing, to the Wooster campaign to fund a student scholarship. I reached out to her to thank her, and I learned her story. Nan is battling cancer and does not expect to make it to retirement. She wanted to give her retirement savings to future Wooster students so they would get a chance to have the Wooster experience that she had. That's Nan's story, and she knows I'm telling it tonight. And finally, there was the alum from the mid-'70s who'd completely lost touch with Wooster, but she recently agreed to attend a Wooster event near her home city and was invited to come back to campus for IS weekend. She accepted, and she was moved to tears by what she saw, the work the students are doing, and she decided on the spot to endow a scholarship for future Wooster students. That's her story. So fellow Scots, I say again, this campaign, every gift, every dollar, was about hundreds, thousands of Wooster stories. This campaign was from the heart. It is about people with that Wooster passion, driven by a love for this college, people who understand what Wooster's promise is all about and what it means to future generations of Wooster women and men. That, fellow Scots, is the how of this campaign. Even more important is the why. And for that, let's watch this video of what this campaign was all about.
The Wooster's Promise campaign sat right across the apex of the 150th anniversary of our college. And it's given us the opportunity to think about the ways that we can meet Wooster's mission deeply for the future and also enact our most powerful promises for generations of students to come.
There's nothing more important at our college than the people who are here. And the fact that this campaign has brought forth a number of new scholarships provides access to students who otherwise would not be able to experience the environment of Wooster.
Coming here to Wooster, I was meeting people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, from different religions, different ethnicities and nationalities, and my perspective on the world completely changed because people were sharing with me what they've experienced and gave me a better understanding of what the world was actually like.
I think that with the scholarships giving these students different opportunities to come to Wooster, it helps diversify the entire campus body as a whole, and then we get to learn from their different backgrounds, cultures, and stories.
All that talent would be wasted. We need those students.
It's amazing that we bring students from all over the world, from all kinds of backgrounds, and we support them with scholarships for tuition, but we support them with summer work and research assistance. All those things have been made possible by the funding of Wooster's Promise.
We love the Wooster Fund because it affects every part of each student's experience every day. As new ideas come forward to us here on campus, it's often the Wooster Fund that makes the difference between us having to say, that's a great idea, but we're not sure how we can do it, and being able to say, that would be fantastic for students, let's do that today.
I think the Wooster Fund is an absolutely critical part of the campaign because it provides funding for whatever is most needed in that time. And that's sometimes something that cannot be anticipated, say 5 or 10 years ahead of time.
The Wooster Fund has a powerful impact. Without it, we can't do the things that we do as a part of everyday operation. The things that we accomplish every year are made possible by the Wooster Fund.
One of the things that struck me about Wooster when I first arrived and has continued to just strike a chord in my heart ever since, is the close interaction between faculty and students that we have here at the college.
It's hard to find a curriculum anywhere else in the United States as dedicated to student growth as what we have here at the College of Wooster. With the independent study program allowing every student to explore their own questions and to work one-on-one with a faculty member on a research project over a whole year.
The independent study helps a student because it gives them the confidence that they can imagine a problem that's worth studying, that they can articulate that problem and refine it in a way that they can now tackle it and provide an answer or a solution or options.
Research is a form of teaching for us here. That is the point of mentored research, is that there is almost no better way for a student to learn. When you really immerse yourself in a field, in a research field, and you grapple with questions that nobody yet knows the answer to, that's when real learning happens.
You see the light bulb go off when students get that it's not about me delivering a certain kind of knowledge to them. It's about them cultivating something in themselves. The ability to produce something of their own, to create something of their own, that's exceptional. And they carry that through their lives.
The campaign has enabled us to provide funded internships for students to do work in companies and businesses, nonprofits and government organizations, everywhere from right here in Worcester out across the globe, increasing the chances they have for civic engagement in our community, as well as for entrepreneurship and thinking about developing their own ideas into potential future innovations and businesses. All of those have been part of growing experiential learning here on campus through our APEX Center, the Center for Advising, Planning, and Experiential Learning.
I would describe Apex as basically your best friend on campus, your best resource. Anytime you need any kind of help academically, or if you're considering kind of future job choices or trying to figure out what your major is going to be, Apex is the place to go.
The vision of Apex was really to give students the opportunity to find a place where they had some mentorship outside the classroom. These are really valuable experiences for students where they get to work closely with faculty, but they get to work closely with actual professionals in the field.
Apex is a distinct feature at Wooster. They will literally help you with any and everything that will prepare you for your post-Wooster life.
It's a fabulous program, and I think most of what we do in Apex in experiential learning we could not do without the support of this campaign and the generous donors that we've got.
One of the goals of this campaign was to strengthen the opportunities that students have in the life sciences here at Wooster. One of the things that we did was to bring some new faculty opportunities in the life sciences, so we'd have new fields of study available across the life sciences, new opportunities for interdisciplinary connection, and then of course a facility that supports the work that students and faculty do together. And that is our marvelous new Ruth W. Williams Hall of Life Science.
Our new building is really based around the idea that it's going to be collaborative research and it's going to be an environment that exposes students to interdisciplinarity.
The open layout of the Williams Hall of Life Science really permits the faculty and the students who work here the ability to learn more about what other groups are doing in the building and sharing ideas and techniques that may have gone unnoticed.
The teaching spaces are amazing. It really is a joy to teach in them. There's room, you can move the tables to do group work versus lecture. It's much more accommodating, more active, more inclusive teaching styles.
It just overwhelms me, and I know most of the people in here, it overwhelms them to think about the fact that these people gave so much money and so much energy to creating this space.
I think our present campaign proves that our alumni who have come through the experience at the College of Wooster care so much about what they experience and want other students to have that same opportunity that they gave above the measure that would be expected for this campaign.
It speaks volumes for graduates of the college to really invest in not only buildings but in people. I think it's important to know that they are really making an impact on current students, students to come, faculty, anybody that interacts with the college.
As we have this opportunity to celebrate the Wooster's Promise campaign, I want to say thank you to every person here on campus and across our alumni body around the world for your engagement, for your commitment to Wooster, and for your care for our students and for their futures.
Scotland Brave, first through, by the centre, quick, march!
$190 million. Thank you all so much. It's astonishing. It really is. Of course, my favorite part of that video is that apparently it is always summer in Wooster. Always. So we talked about the how of the campaign, and that in a very crisp 9-minute video is really the why of this campaign, why we did what we did. And that $190 million, yes, it's a big number, but it's really all about making more stories for all those students who are here and who are going to attend in years to come. So thank you again all for that huge commitment that you all made. As the campaign wrapped up, I actually thought about getting a tattoo of the words I used countless times during this campaign. Go Scots. In board meetings, go Scots. In campaign speeches and calls, go Scots. In hundreds of thank you notes, go Scots. But then I realized I don't need a tattoo. It's already written in black and gold across my heart. Go Scots. Now I've got a little special presentation for Don and Sarah, if they could join me at the podium. Sarah, you know, John Federico is the chairman of our Board of Trustees. So Don and Sarah, on behalf of Wooster's Promise campaign and over 16,000 donors, I'd like to present you with a check for $190,288,316. Please cash it within 90 days.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Blake. That was just truly fantastic. Blake, you are an inspirational leader of your fellow trustees. Your amazing work over the last 5 years has brought us to this extraordinary success. I'm fortunate enough from time to time to get emails from Blake, and I guarantee you if you haven't received one, at the bottom of each email it says, Go Scots. When this campaign began, the ink had barely dried from the checks our generous donors had written to build the beautiful facility that we're occupying tonight. Our consultants, fearing some degree of giving fatigue, recommended what they thought was an ambitious goal of $150 million. Our campaign leadership team, not to be deterred, set our public goal at $165 million. As the campaign marched on and gained momentum, they believed they could raise $185 million. Every one of those benchmarks was exceeded, as you saw by the numbers that were just shown to you tonight. All of this was made possible by the extraordinary generosity of many donors, as well as our amazing campaign leadership team. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to recognize and thank that team and its members. And I'm going to ask you to hold your applause until the end, even though I know you're going to be tempted to applaud when these names are read. First, of course, Blake Moore, campaign chair, whose sustained commitment over the last 5 years has accomplished so much, and we really couldn't have done it without Blake Moore. Jim Clark, class of 1959, honorary co-chair. The late Stan Gault, class of 1948, also honorary co-chair. The Gault family, as many of you know, has supported this college in so many ways, and we're blessed and very fortunate to have Stan's son and my good friend, Steve Gault, on our Board of Trustees. Dick Bell, class of 63, chair of Capital Initiative. The late Marge Carlson, class of 1962, who was chair of Communications. Marge served as vice chair of the Board of Trustees for many years, and she also has had a very lasting impact on this college. Jim and Darcy DeRose, classes of 1972 and 1973 respectively. Dune Foster, class of 1980, who chaired our 150th celebration. David Gunning, parent of a member of the class of 1992 and a past board chair. Bill Longbreak, class of 1965, also a past board chair. I know Dave and Bill are both with us here tonight. Mary Ann Sprague, who's a parent of a member of the class of 2009 and was chair of annual giving. Mary Ann also, until recently, was chair of the advancement committee of the board and currently serves as vice chair of the board, and it's been a privilege for me to work with Mary Ann. Diane Hamburger, class of 1971, is a trustee and chair of annual giving. Lori Hauk was our vice president for advancement when this campaign began. Keith DiDonato was interim vice president for advancement, and Wayne Webster, who you've already met tonight if you didn't know him before, our vice president for advancement. Also instrumental in this campaign as members of the leadership team are Grant Cornwell, who was our president when this campaign began, Georgia Nugent, who was an interim president for the College of Wooster, and our current president, Sarah Bolton. I'd like to ask everybody who's here, whose name I just read, to please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. The campaign leadership team and many donors have set this college up well for the future. Under the leadership of President Sarah Bolton, the college is in the midst of a strategic planning process that will propel us to new heights in the years ahead for the College of Wooster. And here I would like to pause just for a moment to make an important announcement. President Bolton joined us in 2016 on a 3-year contract. Today, I had the pleasure of sitting down with President Bolton, with our Vice Chair, Mary Ann Sprague, and President Bolton and I signed her new contract, which will carry her into through June of 2024. So the future looks very bright for the College of Wooster. We're in great hands. We have a wonderful board of trustees. It's been an absolute honor and privilege for me to work with them. They work very hard and give to this college in so many different ways, all of which are behind the scenes. You don't see it, but it's really a testament to the love that people have for the College of Wooster. And with that, I would like to now turn this over to Sarah Bolton.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Don and Blake, for all of that inspiration, and thanks to all of you for all of the generosity and inspiration you bring to us each day here at the college. It's wonderful to be with all of you tonight. This is an extraordinary night for Wooster and for the wonderful family of Scots who are gathered here and out around the world. I am so delighted to be with you all for this celebration of Wooster's promise as we look forward to the future that we will build together. Each of you has been leaders in moving our college forward in crucial ways over the course of this campaign. And words are simply not enough to express our thanks for all that you have done for our college and for our students. But still, I want to start by just saying thank you. You are incredible. It is my tremendous honor and deep joy tonight to take just a few minutes to tell you about what this campaign has made possible at Wooster today and what it will enable for our shared future, ensuring that Wooster continues to be a place that changes lives and that Wooster graduates make exceptional contributions to society for generations to come, as they have for 152 years already. Special thanks for the success of this campaign go to all of the members of the campaign leadership team, and especially, one more time, to our superb chair, Blake Moore, and our honorary chairs, Jim Clark and Stan Galt. Through their fantastic and supremely dedicated work, if Blake called you and said a lot of other, encouraging things before he said, "Go Scots," that's our Blake, our campaign chair. You know he did. That supremely dedicated work inspired broad support for the college, and it really was what this campaign was built on. So thank you. To the Board of Trustees, your leadership in this campaign, from the day that you first stood up together to support it, has been incredible. You launched this campaign, and you gave it the wings to soar beyond what any of us could possibly have imagined. I also want to thank our wonderful advancement team who came together amidst tremendous transition to hold fast to the vision of Wooster's promise. You reached out to members of the Scott family near and far. You told them about our hopes and our aspirations for our college, and you inspired them to join us. Thank you so much. To all of you here, you all brought the campaign forward. You were donors, you were ambassadors, creators, and advocates for this campaign, and together, you all have done something extraordinary. Through your commitment and your generosity, you made Wooster's promise so successful that it exceeded every single one of its goals in record-breaking time. The care and love that you have shown for our college and for our students inspires me, and it inspires every one of us here on campus. I'm humbled and I'm moved by the remarkable success of this campaign and by all of this generosity, but I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised by it because Wooster is an extraordinary college, and Family of Scots is an extraordinary one in its commitment to our students, both those who are here now, and to the generations of future Scots. As you saw, over 10,000 Wooster alumni have contributed to making this possible. This campaign matters because Wooster matters. Wooster matters to our students, of course, and also to the futures of which they will build a part. Here at Wooster, students from around the corner and across the world, they get to know each other. They open up each other's perspectives so that after a time on campus, Wooster students wake up one morning and they realize that suddenly they see the world through new eyes. By this, I don't mean that they've somehow lost who they were when they came to the college. Far from it. Rather, they gain the ability to take their own perspectives and deepen them by entwining them with those of others from around the world and across the generations. There is no better preparation for an ethical life doing work that matters. And here, every student steps off from the known to do work that has never been done before. And in doing so, they realize that they can innovate and that they can go where others have not. Every single student says, I didn't think that I could do it until I did it. And if you stood with me in the registrar's office last May, when a student from a family with very little means, who was the first in her family to go to college, proudly and confidently turned in her independent study while her mother on FaceTime looked on with pride and tears, and while her friends and her president cheered her on, you know why Wooster matters. You all of the Wooster family, are the people that make that transformation happen for hundreds of students from around the world every single year. Wooster is an extraordinary college because we invest so deeply in the promise of every student, meeting them where they are when they arrive and bringing them through a journey of learning and exploration to a place where they can do that work that's never been done before. And in doing so, our students achieve their dreams, but they also do more than they had ever even imagined. With the Wooster's Promise campaign, we reinvest in that historic promise that Wooster has made for generations and ensure that it is realized for the future. That promise is powerful, not just while students are at Wooster, but over the entire course of their lives. I think there are many people here tonight and out on the internet who can attest to that power. It enables Wooster Scots to make an outsized impact in the world through the work they do, the lives they live, and through the people that they are. Wooster's Promise is a campaign for our future, for the future of the college and the future of the thousands of students we will serve in the coming decades, and it has deeply enriched that future for sure. But even today, it has already had a profound and positive impact on our campus, and I want to just take a minute to tell you about that. Because of Wooster's Promise, because of you, 71 new scholarships make it possible for wonderful students to come to Wooster and participate in this extraordinary education, regardless of their family's ability to pay. Because of Wooster's Promise and because of you, 3 new professorships and 34 new funds deepen our academic strength and allow us to bring new faculty and whole new fields of study to the college. And the Perry Williams Fellowships bring superb young scholars to campus, increasing the diversity of our curriculum and of our community. Because of Wooster's Promise and because of you, we have the beautiful Ruth W. Williams Hall of Life Science, which is already transforming teaching and learning and discovery at Wooster. Because of Wooster's Promise and because of you, we have built the Wooster Fund, which supports all we do every day. Because of Wooster's Promise and because of you, we have 10 new endowed funds which support experiential learning, creating APEX, as well as dozens of new funded internships for students and opportunities in civic engagement and entrepreneurship. Because of Wooster's Promise and because of you, students have a new home in Brush Hall, a new hearth in the alley at Lowry, and new funds to support their leadership and diversity and collaboration, and the friendship and learning that happen through living in this remarkable community. And finally, because of Wooster's Promise and because of all of you, thousands of alumni have new connections with one another, with Wooster students, and with the college, strengthening the fabric of this remarkable Scott family beyond measure. The extraordinary generosity of the family of Scott sets a superb foundation upon which we will build our future. With this foundation in place, we will inspire great students, great faculty, and great staff to come to Wooster from across the country and around the world, and we will welcome them into an excellent and inclusive community of learners. We will strengthen and evolve our educational program, both inside and outside the classroom, to ensure that students are well prepared to live lives of purpose, as ethical leaders with global perspective, as solvers of problems that matter, and as contributors to progress on the most pressing and complex issues in our very rapidly changing world. We will support the access, the learning, and the thriving of all of our students so that they can make the most of living and learning together in this extraordinary, diverse, and international community, growing as scholars and growing as people who will make exceptional contributions as citizens of the communities of which they will be a part after they graduate. This is an enormously important moment for higher education, as well as for Wooster. It's an enormously important moment both within our country and beyond it. Today's young people and tomorrow's will need a critical understanding of themselves, a critical understanding of one another, and a critical understanding of the world beyond their own experience. The potency of Wooster's educational model gives our college a vital role to play, and I am excited for what lies ahead. Standing on the foundation of our college's deep history and lifted by the remarkable generosity of this family of Scots, we will realize Wooster's powerful promise for generations to come together. Thank you, and go Scots.